Breakfast plays a saxophone into the streets of San Francisco, hundreds dancing, chanting, "Occupy everything," and some other catchy slogans and hashtags and hand signals and drums and drums. I hold up my signs too, marker and sweat mixing together they blur. I'm sure they're witty and clever and whatever, and what are we doing here again? We're the massive manifestations of the collective discontent spilling over from uplifted common consciousness across trills and news feeds and drums, right. So Margot and I go the wrong way with a few protesters who stray off towards Bryant Street. And people who get lost are part of the 99% too, we giggle. As we look at each other, our faces sweaty, they seem to be encased in glass like fish in an aquarium. "There!" shouts a woman with a megaphone, but she says this to us not through the megaphone. And sure enough, there they are. Young and old, stinky and neat, some of them naked as supermarket meat. Screaming despite the snarls of police, and you can taste the heat, and drums and drums. Excuse me, there's no smoking here. We're trying to create a very safe space where everybody feels welcome. Fuck you, no one's gonna tell me how to be a revolutionary. Hey, take it easy, you guys. Non-violence, let's create our own currency. They'll just print more of their own. And if we burn the banks, they'll arrest us. Duh. We need to create our own and all just withdraw all of our money at the same time. When? Guy Fawkes Day. We talked about it. The GA, follow me, we tweet to consensus. And what do we want? I want housing, healthcare, education. I want to take back the nation. I want my 5 minutes of fame. I want a fair wage. I want to get laid. And corporate greed, legalize weed, tax Wall Street, and a pulsing plurality of voices and Frank Chew. And drums and drums. All of the hands holding telephones, ships like periscopes, raised from the submarine fella banging hot chick in a Wonder Woman outfit. She's on top of a newspaper stand proclaiming, "They foreclosed on my family's home, and they buried me in student loans, and I'm here to occupy." A wave of cries rise to reply, echoes sweep across offices, apartments, shops, and boutiques, out of the buses and into the streets, beauty, drivers, beef, and drums and drums. A very serious man with a seriously expensive camera asking questions with a very serious tone. He wants to analyze and justify and explain the movement and dissect it. So that he can publish his findings, I'm sure there are many men wearing neckties who will shoot his words at work or on the way. I don't care much for what he has to say for the same reason I never want to know the scientific chemical reaction process that makes the leaves change colors and grow crunchy and fall. There's so much magic everywhere. And drums and drums. A 17-year-old girl with a bandana covering half of her face with some anarchist literature stuffs it into my purse next to the General Strength Flyers vibe poem. It's next to a dude dressed in King of Hearts, and he gave it to me. My purse is hella occupied. Mic check. In Oakland. Scott Olson was attacked while peacefully demonstrating. We will shut down the ports. Whose streets? Our streets. We are each other's microphones, amplifiers, documentation, inspiration, and drums. This is bigger than me. There's a shared sense of, hey, did you feel that? Like an earthquake, when all the lights are flickering, and the world seems to shift, and you either freeze, or you move out of the way, and you notice everything. Your eyes become lasers, directing focus beams of attention towards the strangest thing, like this subtle difference in a shade of 2 bricks, or the way that some wires look like corset ties in the sky begging to be unraveled, and how the pavement suffocates the plants underneath, and the smell of a freshly lit match, and we're breathing one breath, and beating one beat, and there's tears in my face,